What up, what up, what up? JTO coming back at you, week 9. Back in here, I'm Jerry.
I'm Marcus.
What up?
This is we almost at number 10, y'all. We
So close.
these little landmarks, you gotta love it.
Hell yeah. Man, but how you been? Is it going for you?
It's been good, it's been good. You know, Christmas. You gotta love seeing your family and food.
Believe that? Oh yeah.
How about you though? How's the holidays?
It's been good. It's been really just chilling.
Yeah.
Not much changing down here. But yeah, I'm ready to get the new year started off. It's the last one for this year.
Yeah.
It's been a interesting decade. A lot of ups, downs, ups, a lot of change.
A lot of progress though. A lot of progress.
A lot of progress.
A lot of people don't like it, but it's a lot of progress.
Yeah, so it's gone. Yeah, it's been a progress fighting just old shit that just doesn't want to really get out of the way.
Yeah, and lack of perspective on their side.
Yeah, a lot of growth though as well.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of like people, just myself, like just changing, growing more, like really, real progression, like real growth, like real. I've just seen so many movements start, and even I feel like Dolomite came out at the perfect time to crescendo all these people into knowing that like you can really just go make your own thing. Like it's really just about like believing in yourself, your talent, whatever you have to offer, and offering it. You know what I'm saying? Really betting on yourself. I've seen that ripple out. Like a lot of people, like I watch, like building on between Dolomite and Tyler Perry's studio opening. Like those two things, I feel like have been a real big catalyst going into the next decade of ownership. Because you see it with like, Joe Rogan kind of started off on this path like at the beginning of the decade. That's turned into a whole compound and one of the biggest media outlets like in the world. Andrew Schultz, Charlemagne had spots on his face at the beginning of the year, looking like a whole raccoon out here. But he's blowing up 2 books in. Breakfast Club is thriving. Andrew Schultz. People didn't even know he was a stand-up. I would say even though he's in his core, but you see him on like TV in different places, and then you let that shine. That's so special.
His work is coming to fruition.
Yeah, he just I was watching the latest Flagrant 2, and he just started with his own studio. So he built a studio up there in New York. So like just more to come out of there. Watch like this guy Kev on Stage and Doughboy, Wretched and Ratchet. They've had a whole thing. Just seeing them break out into their own stuff. Like after their ADD situation dissolved the first time, they now like start owning their own stuff. They got a studio. Now they got a bigger studio because that problem was the last one. It's just been a real flush of, I just see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's really.
I wanted to really know Kanye West.
Well.
Because he seems like he's calming down in a weird direction, but he's had a hard decade.
Yeah, Kanye has been like progress.
I feel like with that, especially with that last album, I feel like that was like a page turn.
It's always a page turner. The new chapters of Kanye are always interesting. I just don't know where the story is going, and if it's going in a victorious arc or if this is a tragedy. I don't know. It's really go either way, and it's always been the case at like any point.
He keeps you glued to the seat though.
He's always interesting, if nothing else, but like
You don't see that.
Well, no. You see change. There's always change. There's definitely been massive change for the better. And I wouldn't really say all that.
Okay.
Like we're still watching a guy kind of losing it, or just I don't know. That's a whole different.
Yeah, because like he was getting the mental help for a while. Like Kid Cudi was getting his, and I thought that was a good like first song, but it wasn't really cemented. And with that last one, with the pivot, that just I love Jesus. I was like, okay, maybe this is where the crazy is going to calm down a little. We're going to get into a more, I guess, rational, clear-headed kind of.
You don't start talking about Jesus and become rational. It's not really how that goes. That's not the stepping stone for rational. That's not what it starts. That's not how that story goes.
You send a text to Kim, like, are you going to be in today's Sabbath?
No, man. Yeah, just to go to that point, I feel like it would be interesting seeing how that relationship goes on for the next 10 years. Because this is the final thing I'd say about Kanye. I guess his music is wild, but like there's always a real line of honesty in it. And when on this last song, this whole album about Jesus, and he's just like, yeah, I do this walk by myself, I have to, something like that, paraphrasing. I was like,
struggling Kim Cord, like
she's said some ultimatums have been thrown around. That's all I can I gather from that bar. But
I feel like Kim helped him, or maybe she helped him get even more crazy. That's a whole other thing, actually. Yeah.
I mean, her dad turned into a woman. I don't know. Again, this is not like pillars of stability. These are just pillars. They're strong, but like
unpredictable.
Made of salt. I don't know. Like it's just weird. But on the opposite note, I would go to Drake and his dominance. Because I watched this guy like beginning of this, or what, 2010. He was already out, I guess.
Yeah,
he was starting.
Coming off of that Young Money, Cash Money.
Yeah. But I mean, that his dominance I think he pretty much ascended at that point. Like early 2010s? Or 2010?
Yeah. I'm not sure if it would be 2010, because I feel like he was still on like that connection to Wayne.
Well, I mean,
feel like 11, 12, like you started just not being able to get away.
Yeah. But he's been just, I don't know if it's consistent. He's been consistently dropping. That's huge, and that's an achievement within itself. But then it's always, he's mixed it up. Like he's been everything he's needed to be to still be here.
I feel like he's a type of Floyd Mayweather in terms of rap, because people keep swinging at him. They keep.
Do you remember there was a time where you would never even think anyone would come at Jake, because why would you? Like, not in a like, why would you? Because this is a dangerous guy, but he's a singing dude. Like, why?
Yeah.
You know, Drake was soft at one point, like really, like.
Yeah, and
I'm not even getting points for trying to do that soft. Then that shit turned around so fast.
But I feel like he, even when he was that soft, he would say little things that would let you know that it's for the music. Like I don't make music for people that don't get pussy. Things like that would like indicate like, okay, you're doing this really for the women. It's not about me. Because
but see, at the same time, like until really the Elliot interview that just came out, I still kind of thought of him as like in the hopeless romantic lane of like that's part of his character. He's like, no, that's not. He's like, nah, it's not at all. Like he's really ratchet, way more ratchet than any of us give him credit for.
I feel like maybe because I like Drake almost from the start, I'm biased because I did, but I always, like, when I'd be listening, I'd hear those lines and they connected a lot just because of how different they were compared to everything else in the song. He'd be, oh, I love this, da 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 da, I can't wait to make you happy, and then I'll make this music for people that don't need pussy. Like, okay, and he's not. And he was never defending himself to the point where I felt like it was something to believe. That's something I think is. I think anytime someone like makes an accusation or anything like that, if you overly react trying to defend yourself, I feel like that makes you look more guilty. But but he handled, I guess, that narrative that was over him really well and took advantage of it at every turn.
Yeah, and just kept capitalizing, and just played things correctly.
And then I feel like the real chess move was the flip with Meek Mill. Like, I felt like that was the opportunity to make that full tilt.
No, that brought out a whole new side. It kind of made it unequivocal, where you could really, there was nothing else you could really try to jab at it for. You know what I mean? Like that, he solidified you with, all right, you don't really want to come this way with the bars, which is important to establish at some point.
He was really big to do it that late.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't even
to be
just the way he wasn't. Yeah, like before that happened, I never would have thought it would happen because it's just like, why would you? Like, he's not really the guy that's out here toting shit. It's not really. There's a lot more people that you would try first, like, you know what I'm saying, that are like provoking you.
Yeah, that's the thing too. He's like civilized hood and like perfect balance. I feel like T.I. he's the hood gentleman, but he's leaning hood.
T.I.
He's leaning like the hat leans.
The biggest magic trick in the world that's never been revealed. How does T.I.'s hat stay on? Shit is impossible.
Every morning he gets up and makes the magic happen before he brushes his teeth.
Like, that's how you just knew your swag wasn't shit back in the day. It's just like, how is he doing that? I didn't know people could just walk around out here. You get the hat. I remember trying. It's just like, tilt it. It's impossible. It's like, at some point, T.I. had to go through that proper etiquette training. Balance the books and shit, walking across the room. T.I. has there's a weird backstory there that Clifford has.
Told.
Yeah, he was raised right. It's really interesting. But yeah, it's just impossible. How the fuck does he do it?
Yeah, and it gets me because we had talked about this before, but I didn't think about it until I saw it. He comes on an interview, and like even the way he moves his head is smooth.
Oh yeah, it's like 1,000% swag. It's always been. He was the first swag rapper, but didn't know it. Like, he was always gangster shit, but like that part was always undeniable. Where it's just like, I don't walk that way. Like, I don't.
T.I.'s made a change this decade too.
He's done a lot. The whole TV show with the family. I feel like started a whole new chapter. His podcast is doing things now. He got. I don't know if people. He's going up fast, and he was like the right friend because when Eddie Murphy was on Saturday Night Live for his monologue, did you see it? For his monologue, he had Chappelle came out. Oh no,
Chappelle,
Chris Rock.
I forgot the fourth one. I saw it. I don't.
Tracy Morgan and Keenan Thompson, and Chappelle came out quick and said a quick few words, but like he dropped expeditiously, and I was just like, you can't get a better look than Chappelle saying your shit on Saturday Night Live. like it's what a look. And Eddie Murphy standing next to him, like wow. I was like, that's
the stars literally
massive.
lined up, the figuratively lined up.
That's just, you can't really pay for that kind of endorsement or advertising.
Yeah,
That's next level. That's just perfect placement.
I've been liking how much Eddie Murphy has been sticking with these other stars. That's been an interesting thing to see.
They're all short
now. Yeah.
Yeah. He's that dude. Like, yeah, Richard's gone. Like, he's the last one where people's like, I started because I saw this. Yeah, or the. Oh, that's interesting. Going nuts. No.
Or like the Jon Stewart for the moment. Jon Stewart or Knightley.
He's that's easier. The rap is like, I don't know how far back can you go? Because like, is the Gucci? Nah, that's
yeah.
This is Jay. I don't know, but like
you can't give him too far back.
Yeah, but you have to though, because Eddie Murphy is far back. This is from the '80s.
You give him like the Biggie or the Pac if it was rap.
No, because like he has a direct tree. Like I can think of a lot of trees in rap that would be smaller trees in comparison. When we get lost in the trees in this metaphor, but like. So if the tree of comedy, right? The sprouts would there's like Carlin, Richard Pryor, and I don't know if you go back further. Well, the modern stand-up, maybe like I had something else, but let's stick it there. So you have that's really your start of this whole new. Oh, I can tell stories about stuff and make it funny. And before it was just like jokes, like silent air before that. So, so then like Richard Pryor, you had all these people, and then like Eddie Murphy is part of that tree. Like he saw Richard Pryor do it, and like Cosby, and whatever. So he saw them. And then people started branching off that tree. Like he made the tree expand out bigger, so it's like you have like your Martins and your fucking Chris Rock. Everyone that was there, Chappelle, like all these people's like we saw fucking Delirious, and it was like, you know what I'm saying? I knew I had to do this for the rest of my life, or I had to get on stage and try it. Like that's what I mean, like the tree, like Gucci Mane, like. Is one of those in Atlanta where it's like Migos directly off that tree, picked them out. Young Thug would not be a thing. He pulled him out. He's like, all right, be in the studio. You know, there's lots of people on that tree. I'm sure I'd miss a lot of people. But like, so out of that opportunity, then that sounds birthed a lot of things. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's direct correlation from here to here. Like, there's no way, like, you ask, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just directly, like, people like Travis Scott is right off the Kanye West street. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They'll tell you. So.
No, that's what I'm saying. Everyone's off of
Migos and Young Thug, for example. I think I've heard both of them on an interview. Like, yeah, Gucci was the guy.
No, yeah, but he not only was he the guy, but he picked them directly. Like they were in Gucci studio recording. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like he was like, yeah, you can do this. Like he was
motivating, doing the whole lot.
Not even he gave him the whole opportunity. They'd have been robbing people in the streets. Like it was like that kind of shit. Like Thug was a young Thug. You know what I'm saying? He gave me a chance to be Jeffrey. You know, like for real. So it's a lot of those little trees, and they have big they're big, but like Eddie Murphy's, it's a bigger tree for what it is, like direct comparison. Well, it's just a bigger. There's more branches. That's all. Like, because even Gucci's like would be a branch off of something. Like you're, it can't go back far enough. You know, like all those trees eventually come back to like the Bronx, New York, like the beginning. You know, like Grandmaster Flash and like Cool Herc and shit. Like that's where that's the trunk. But like from there, it branched off so heavy, had just nuts. You know what I'm saying? And comedy is too. Like it's a worldwide thing. And you know, Trevor Noah is influenced by like seeing like I think maybe like Chris Rock when he came to South Africa, he was like, "Oh, we could do that? That's a thing." Because they just got freedom of speech and shit like in the 90s, like, you know, apartheid ended. So it was like literally, oh, I didn't know this was a thing. We had to get introduced to the whole concept, and then we're like, and then they had to ask permission, like we can just go on stage and talk about white people. Like yeah. I'm just trying this shit out, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you know what I mean? That's real Christopher Columbus shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they're on the frontier of what they can do, and then Trevor's over here, like doing nightly news in America. Like it's a big jump, and for something that's only existed in that place for less time than I've been alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, these careers, I guess they're no more interesting in story than they were before. We just don't know everyone's story. But this has been crazy. Trevor Noah's story coming from South Africa.
Yeah.
When he starts telling it on his Breakfast Club interview, you're on the edge of the seat, like you're watching an action movie. Like, oh, so you're saying back then, because you were mixed, you couldn't go either way?
No, you're a crime.
Yeah.
You're
with
literal.
your auntie. You're with your auntie. They're like, okay, this can't happen.
Yeah, and like you can't like his mom had to dress up like a maid to go see the dad.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't be together, and like when they were together, she had to say that he was someone else's kid, like or some shit. Like that's deep. Like, so I mean, that's what I'm saying. For that kid to go from that reality, that's the world you're living in. For that kid to be like, okay, you know, and I think he said the first time he saw like a black and white person laugh together, he told a story about I think it was like his granddad or his like uncle or something, and he tells this joke to a cop on a horse who were notorious for just beating the fuck out of people. And he's I think I'm not gonna remember this joke. Your dad, why can your president kiss your horse, but he won't kiss my wife? He's like, I don't know. You haven't seen my wife. I think he said sister, but whatever. But like, and you know, and this is obviously hilarious. So yeah, he saw it. He's like, "Fuck, that's a thing. We can laugh together." And then that whole system breaks down, and then they get the right to do. And then he takes that. It's a real story. Like, to go from something that was illegal to being able to do it on the world's biggest stages. You know what I mean? That's
those are the kind of stories that make you feel like you can do anything too, though.
You can do anything.
Oh yeah, but I mean, they make you feel it though. It's one thing to hear it. Everyone says it.
Yeah.
But when you feel that in your spirit, like, yo, I'm about to go do it because I feel I can right now. I'm not just. That's what it is. A lot of people tell themselves they can do anything, but they don't believe it when they say it. And that's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, at least you gotta at least start by saying it though. Like, but you gotta mean it. You gotta feel it.
Yeah,
and then you gotta like kind of
so key.
You gotta prove it. At least to yourself.
You have to prove it to yourself. And you have to hypnotize yourself a bit.
yeah, but like if you can, it's kind of like a rewarding like just good behavior kind of thing. Like that would instill good. Yes, thank you. I was like, I'm not getting habits. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But like, so if you're I can do anything or whatever, and then you do something that you couldn't do, like you learn something new and like you conquer it, and you're just like, I couldn't do that how long ago, and now, that brings on the new confidence going forward in anything, because now, when you do something hard, everything's easier. It's like working out. You go lift like heavy weights. So when you go home and pick up your baby, it's not that big a deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's easy. Because you've stress tested. You got to stress test like your life or like your limits of what you can do, what you know, and then that just makes things easier. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the Gordon Ramsay thing.
I feel that.
Going back to that, where it's like he really, before he leaves, as part of the process, once he turns it around, he stress tests it. He's like, I'm here, people know I'm here, they're excited, I'm gonna fill this place up. Because if you can handle this place full, you can handle this on a Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he's always pushing the way he does. Because again, like, even people's reaction, like, they'll say, like, when they're little interviews, yeah, I didn't want to mess up because I didn't want Gordon to yell at me. Well, what happens if you start performing all the time like you don't want Gordon to yell at you? But if that becomes part of it, you know what I'm saying? That kind of that stress. So now it's like if someone else is telling you to do things, just easy. I got it. It's whatever. It's the stress test.
Yeah, no, the stress test is key, but you made me think about something because a lot of the time people do have things people that they attach those things to in whatever kind of way. I mean, for sports guys, it might be the coach. Like, oh yeah, I need to catch that ball because even the coach ain't here. I don't want to disappoint the coach. Oh, you got it. Mm-hmm. But I think that is really effective when people, I've only heard like maybe one guy, but he was like, I imagine I'm talking to his, like one of his closest friends. He was like, I'll imagine I'm talking to him because that lets me say the things that I can't think.
Yeah, see,
it lets it get it off his chest and gives it like a bounce board.
I think one of the hardest things to do, it's a real sign of like extreme discipline to me, is someone that can truly be accountable to themselves. Because you can tell yourself whatever, why something didn't happen, or you can tell yourself anything.
Yeah.
And get into like we kind of touched on it before. I think we did more touch on it actually, but like we went over this like in a prior episode.
Similar subject.
Well, yeah, just that part of I think accountability came up.
Yeah.
But just
it was an excuse.
But in this case, it's so if you have a problem being accountable to yourself, which whatever, that's part of life. It's way easier to be accountable to someone else, especially if you respect. That's a big part of religion. Just doing something, having something more than yourself to be working for, like
God can see that.
Yeah, or like even if like you have a family, like you can be doing whatever and living however, successfully or not successfully, and then but if you then have like a baby, it's like, oh, I have to take care of another life in 9 months. Unless you're a piece of shit, like all the way trash, like you have to put yourself in a different mindset going forward of like, okay, it's more than me. You know what I'm saying? I gotta protect this person, and your priorities are now bigger than you. and that's a easier thing to be accountable for because you don't really have a choice. And so it's that kind of same thing. I mean, that's the extreme case of it, but even like having a trainer, and it's like, I need someone to yell at me to go do this, or I don't want him to be mad at me for do this, so I'm gonna go do this work.
Yeah.
And eventually, they can beat you in that habit, and then hopefully you can sustain it and be accountable to yourself. But like, that's a big catalyst in a lot of cases, just to at least get things going in the right direction. Just being held accountable for things you want to do.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a really big sign on how independent we are as people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like everyone loves independence. We love the idea and the narrative of it. And we claim it heavy.
Yeah.
But I feel like no one is. No one's an island. Like we're all pack animals. We can like, I guess, optimize ourselves to be better and better alone, but those other people just make things better, whether it's through putting you in a position where you need to change your mindset, whether it's responsibility or even motivation.
It should. Because like, I guess
should.
you're not getting that from everybody.
No.
So like,
People are getting it from anybody. Those are people that really need the help.
Yeah. I agree with the sentiment. Like, it's definitely more productive to just have people like-minded that you could work with and to achieve a goal or whatever.
Yeah, and they don't even have to be like-minded, but it's just they have to be honest and they have to have direction. Those two things will give you solid results because even if they don't think like you, at least you're getting feedback that's also honest. So you can take that and do with it what you will.
Yeah.
But I think that, the reason I had said it was because, like, for me, I imagine my uncle. Mm-hmm. Like, I have full conversations with him where sometimes I forget this is imagination and I really talk back. Like, you feel like you're going insane. But when I do that, or when I'm actually talking to someone, I've noticed that I can better explore ideas or even explain them. But I have to have that talk. Like, I don't just think about things and then they come out good. It's like I have to say the stuff as a rough draft and then edit it as I'm going. Like, oh yeah, that's wrong. But this part is right. And I think that's just one of the different kinds of intelligence that people have, or something that you build up through whatever ways you're kind of going out there. Because there's some people that also, they need to write it down, like they write notes, stuff like that. That doesn't do anything for me though.
Yeah, whatever the process would be, and refining something and going back over it,
repetition.
That's fine. Or just getting something right. Like, I'll do.
Having a reward.
Usually, if I'm having to do like a design for like a client, or even if I'm just like messing around, just making something. The first versions, you like rarely what. Yeah, it's rarely what I go with. There's always like trial and error. Really, anything, especially if you're trying to discover something or do something new, or just experimenting. Like, it's gonna be trial and error. You just can't be mad at error. You just gotta always learn from the error because that's why it's there for a reason. Like, the fail is not a bad thing. Yeah. It's to show you how to do it correctly if you do it again.
Yeah, and I feel like not learning the lesson is what breeds resentment.
Say that again?
I feel like not learning your lesson breeds resentment.
Not learning your lesson breeds resentment. Go ahead.
Yeah, because, people mess up. That's very natural. A lot of people do it. People repeat mistakes.
Everyone does it.
Yeah,
everyone messes up. No one doesn't mess up.
A lot of the time, like, you'll have someone, they do something messed up, they do whatever, and whether it's other people or themselves, they don't take the lesson that came with whatever happened. Even worse, they get no consequences because there's nothing that from the outside that would even make them think that.
Mm-hmm.
But you have these people that keep repeating mistakes, and you know that over time that stuff makes them bitter. It makes them mad about the whole situation.
Yeah,
They're
but
not
see,
rational the same way about it.
but see, like usually once you get down that snowball, you don't really know you're making a mistake. You know things aren't right, and you're not happy about that, but you're not turning it inside. You're not really looking at it. That's usually there at this point there becomes like a lack of self-consciousness about your actual contribution to the status of everything. Like you're just like, okay, I'm doing everything right, even when you're fucking up everything, because you fall into a pattern or whatever. You don't see the correlation, even if it's obvious. You know, like that's how. I got to send you a link to this kid's nightmare. Because it does all this shit, because you see it, like, they just, like, because every single time he goes into a new restaurant, he goes in and he's like, all right, I'm going to sit down and eat. And they do, like, the interviews, and just like, yeah, I know Gordon's going to love my food. I've been cooking for 20 years. I'm the shit. He doesn't like it. He's not going to spaz on me like he does everybody else. If he doesn't like it, I'm probably going to hit him. And then, sure enough, they go throw something in the microwave. like they don't know who the fuck they're dealing with. Serve it to him like he's supposed to be impressed. And then he shits on him. And then they got to really like, and then there's that first wall of denial. What? He must be crazy. And then he's like, brings it back. He's like, no, taste this shit that you just gave me and tell me that it's good. He then breaks it down. So I'm like, but that moment of at that beginning where it's just like you, and then you see, you know, their kitchen's a mess. They're using stuff. Yeah, we only use fresh ingredients. It's not fresh. It's not made. Why is the freezer full of shit from 3 months ago? And what the like? I mean, it's every time, and it's like so they didn't even. They're not really seeing this for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Even though if you just pointed it out, well, and people, it's not the case that people haven't been pointing these things out in a lot of these cases. It's just that they're so fixed in their ways, or so arrogant, or myriad of reasons. A reason of why I don't have to listen to you, or whatever. It's fine. This is okay. My way goes. You get every variation of that.
It gets me because and part of the reason I was saying that was because I think when people keep making mistakes, as you keep making mistakes, it discourages you from wanting to do the thing. And as that comes into play, there's like a stubborn.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess you're making the mistakes, but you don't know you're making the mistakes. You're just mad at the results.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you get mad at everything but you, because you don't even see yourself as a part of the problem, even though you're the only problem. It's that mix. It's that miss, that line not connecting, where all the problems are. And you can even point that out to them. They gotta be willing to accept it as a thing. Like, it's not enough to just, especially the longer that cycle is gone. Like, if someone's felt for so long and, you know, they feel like they can do everything they can do in their mind, but the reality is they're not doing anything, you have to really show them what that is after a certain point. Like, you think you're doing anything, but let me show you what. You gotta make it. They gotta taste the success. They gotta see the outcome of what you're saying. It's not enough to say like, if you do this will work. Like, no, all right, here, let me show you. This is how you do this. This is how you do this, and then here, roll it out. You see, they like it. They like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta show them. At least that's the Ramsey method.
I mean, like last week, I had my own little things on that specific part, but with that, yeah, it makes a lot of sense because there are people that won't learn their lesson because they don't see the lesson.
Yeah.
So that's where.
That's why you got to really stop
Stop and come to
taking a loss for what it is, or what did I do wrong here? What could I have done better here? Just really take the time to break things down for what it is and be honest with yourself, because it's not.
That's also a lack of common sense.
Yeah, but that's like it's a process though. I think it's a real process unless you're like self-aware from the beginning. So I feel like I had to learn to be self-aware, and I could be more self-aware. Like, it's not like a.
I think it's a skill.
I think it's a hard thing to really
A skill
master.
you can't get enough of.
Yeah, it's something you gotta work out. You gotta practice it. You gotta knowingly work at it and reinforce whatever your own standards or whatever. You have to really take a honest look. It's just not the easiest thing. I mean, therapists are a whole thing for a reason, because I need to run this through the conduit that can now filter this back to me. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is.
Yeah, and this made me think, like, some of the most hard-headed, ignorant people are really just people that don't see their mistake or don't want to see it, and they can't. Nobody's done it, or nobody's been in a position to give them that shell shock. And I say that because, like, we talk about, like, flat Earth, some of those things. Like, we know that's a mistake. Like, we don't need to go far, but you're basing your life on it.
No, see, but that's a different. I mean, that's a whole different type of loser. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't really. That doesn't have any impact on anything.
There's crazy white people supporting Trump because of reasons that he made up. And if you Googled it one time, that would be explained.
And they do that like on Daily Show. Like, I can't remember his name, but he's like one of their guys in the streets, and they go to like the rallies and whatever, just talk to people and have them just eviscerate themselves by their own lack of sense. Like, they'll say, be a free thinker, read the report for yourself. Have you read the report? Nah, but they told me it was fine. But think for yourself, and don't be a sheep. Yeah, of course, you should do your own research, but just make sure you haven't read the. Nah. Okay, cool. So it's like, you can't really do anything with that. It's not really, but that doesn't really. I don't know. Like,
a lot of the time, I feel like those same people that are the most into it have other real problems in their life that are caused by the same problem.
Yeah, like, see, that's, I feel like, a whole deeper lack of everything else going on. If you're fully embedded in, if you're ever at a political rally, something's already wrong. And that's any political rally. I don't care if it's Trump or Bernie. Like, it's really like, what are you doing? Exactly. Like, I mean, vote, yes. Obviously, make a decision on who you want to represent you and vote for that person. Put that shit in action. I don't know what you're at a rally listening to. I don't know what you're. I could have seen going to an Obama rally, but he was a really good speaker. So, like, seeing a tight speech would be tight. You get some goosebumps. You're gonna want to go march on something. Joe Biden's not giving me that feeling ever, so I don't even know why you'd be there. And
honestly, it's nothing against the rallies. It's just most of the people, when you hear the rallies they go to or why they're there, that's when people start to break down.
Yeah, but like, I guess
because I want more people to be that politically active.
That's not really active. That's what I guess I'm saying. Like, what is that? That says, to me, that being politically active, a person that goes to a rally is as politically active as I am a football player when I go to a Falcons game. Like, I'm not, that doesn't make me any closer to the NFL. Like, go run for office, bitch. Like, go tell the people the shit you think, and if they roll with you, they roll with you. If they don't, shut the fuck up.
Make your own route.
Like, I don't get the motivation. I don't get it. I don't get it.
My thought process is more that when these people speak, they usually show the crowd, and because they're not just talking to themselves, but if that crowd's empty and the person's ideas are great, there's a disconnect. It shouldn't be that way. Like, you shouldn't turn around, the camera shouldn't turn from a burger rally and you see 10 people. It's not.
But like,
it
should never. But at the same time, I don't know why 10 people wouldn't show up. That's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. Like, I get it's nice to have the support. And I just don't understand why that would be part of my day ever, even for someone I supported, unless I was like a guest of that person. Like, I couldn't imagine a reason I want to go to a political rally.
And I mean, I think what you said kind
because like you're just going to hear someone say the shit you agree with. You're not going like you're not. It would be more interesting if Trump's rallies were full of Democrats. That would be something, or vice versa. Even like if Bernie Sanders were full of Trump fans. Like, let's show me that. Because I don't. Because you know, I go to a. You go to a music. You go to a concert to hear your favorite songs by your favorite person, whatever. You go to sports to support your team and watch a game you like. I'm not gonna go somewhere and hear a guy just say stuff I agree with. Like, it's weird. It's a strange thing. Like, I don't see they're never telling you anything new. It's never like a new information at the rally, like, or new set, new best of. It's like, I'm gonna say the same shit over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
I thought of it as a way of Bernie. As a way of like supporting whatever candidate, because of the lack of support it seems all candidates have, except the ones that no one wants to win. They seem like they have unlimited support.
Well, I don't know that. Well, I mean, it's matters on who you're talking about.
Trump seems to have undercover unlimited support. Like,
I don't know. It's unwavering. I think it's wavering. And then like,
yeah.
And yeah, I think they fucked up. I was going way too far back because like it doesn't matter at this point. You know, Bernie still gets people. I mean, he still fills up shit and like.
The reason I said it like that was if no one wins. Now that's the whole.
No, I'm not. This is not me going against people who are going. I'm just saying I don't know why anyone would go. Like, I am not. This is not saying don't go if that's what you want to do. I'm just saying I can never see. I can't wrap my mind around the value that that individuals get, other than showing it.
Honestly, I didn't.
Well, yes, you want to see your guy.
You want to see your guy?
Yeah, I'm not. I was never mad at him. I just couldn't see making that. I could never see that being part of my day. I could.
No, I agree. I didn't even know I thought this until we started talking about it.
I hadn't thought about it before. Because I just take for granted it's a thing, but like, just think about it, just like, I don't know why you.
Yeah.
What do you want to go see? I guess.
Because when we first started talking about it, all I could think was like, when Trump had his inauguration speech, and there was that small little crowd, and that became a big deal. Like, no.
That's just because he.
Yeah, it would. But it really makes you think, like, if you're not
That's different.
support.
That's different. That's not a rally. That's an inauguration. Like, that's your guy. Now he's your guy. And it's an historic event. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get why like everyone wants like the Obama. My cousins actually went. They're like, you're not going. They're like, you're not going. I was like, no. It's cold. January in DC. What the fuck? No. Like, he's not. Is he gonna drop the I had a dream speech? Like, other than that, like, unless we're really tearing shit down right after, unless we're marching on the Senate building, I'm not really gonna. That's a long way to be cold and. I don't know. But I get that. But even with all that, I was kind of like, it'd be tight. I get it. But so I'm a rally though. That's some middle America bullshit. That's some real cornfield, corn dog fair. We chase pigs in the mud. Yeah, it's a lot of disrespect because like it's like there's nothing else to do. Like why? And we can go off of this.
Or you have something to say on the aftermath, because I think that people do get to talk to the. I think people get to talk to those representatives after.
Hell no. Fuck no. Like, nothing's gonna happen. The Trump's on Q&A. What the fuck? Hell no.
I thought I saw Bernie do that.
I mean, he better get out there and kiss some babies, but like, yeah, I mean, I get like this, but like, for what do you, like, what do you?
Well, for those, if that's, let's assume that's true. If it was, because I'm now not sure, I don't think it is. But if it was, I would think that those were the people that had something to say. They had questions.
I'm sure they have questions, but I'm just here to say that I know they're stupid. I know they're not. They're gonna be. The, I want to hear the question where the candidate's like, huh.
Let me think about that.
Yeah, this is completely different. Like, yeah, like healthcare. Yes, we know we want free healthcare. I get it. Yes, he's working on it. Taxes, yes, we got to tax. Like, he's gonna. He's been saying it literally for when he ran 4 years ago. Like, we know what we're getting. Like, you're not going there. If you're not going there on the fence or like to convert. Like, I don't know. And I don't know. But at the same time, like
these rallies should be events, though. I mean, if someone was able to make this pop, just get those young voters, like, you might need to make it first Friday just to, with a Q&A.
Well, they're not tight, though. That's what I'm saying. It's not like there's nothing fun about a rally except for cheering when the guy says something you agree with.
Yeah.
You know, that's a weird echo chamber.
No, I'm
like, you don't dance.
I'm big wrong about that.
You don't get to talk to any women. It's just like, nah. It's just seems
You get your health care.
wildly boring to me. But there's nothing else to do in Idaho. You gotta get the rally at.
Yeah. I mean,
unless someone say, how the fuck can you campaign? How do you run to get a job while you should be doing your job? This is the only time I've ever seen someone campaign the entire time they've been in the office. Like, you never stop campaigning. It's like, yeah, you won, yeah, but next week I'm gonna be in Missouri telling them I need their support. But you got the electoral college though. Like, yeah, it's all good though. Because I'm popping up and we're getting lit. Like, it's just, I don't understand how that's even possible. Like, it should have been like, yeah, you can't do that anymore. Like, it's just obviously you can't do that anymore. I need to touch the people. I don't know. But yeah, we can move on from that because it's
no, it's depressing.
It's just ridiculous.
No, I thought political rallies were better than they were. So I was.
You possibly thought they were.
I thought they came with Q&As. That's really what it is. I thought that Bernie was gonna finish talking. Yeah, free healthcare. Yeah, and then be like, yeah, you guys want to know something? What's going on?
Well, what question do you have that he hasn't really talked about?
I'm not going to rallies. I'm not the guy. But I'm saying that's the use for those people to go.
It would be. Yeah, I get that. But I'm just saying, like, these aren't. I have a lot of contempt for people.
And see, I can understand the contempt, but that's just getting there to be mad. They need a question answered.
I hate It's fine. What else we got?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about how all those people ain't really thinking because the common sense is over. We're done with that.
Yeah, but we're not. I'm not gonna Because I can just attack these people forever for no reason.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
just not a.
we don't need to get at them. I mean, just in general, people.
But that's them. So I mean, like these aren't separate. Like these is not a whole different set of people. No, these are the people. So you know, people. I don't know. People just don't. The educational system in America has failed generations of now adults, and probably still current children are still getting fucked up. So my expectation for the majority of people is not great because our bar is low. So we just have an uninformed mass of people. I do want to say, like, one thing we should stop doing. I was thinking of, we gotta stop saying our election was hacked. We gotta stop saying that, because like that resolves us from everything. That's kind of like, oh well, there's nothing we can do about it. We weren't hacked by Russia. They didn't add votes, subtract votes, whatever. Huh?
They did.
Are you?
That's the new intelligence.
Are you like you need I need to see CNN like or something to back up what you're saying, because we were really just tricked, like, or our real nature was exposed, that we just don't really fuck with each other, or that we have a lot of unresolved issues with each other.
Yeah.
Men, women, white people, several minorities, gay, straight, everybody, trans. Russian attack to Florida. Of course it's in Florida though.
It's not like Florida don't count.
I know Florida counts a lot, but like Florida's always has the problems. So like, future was easy. So what effect though? Did you read this article?
I didn't. I saw a video on the subject.
What did the video say?
The video was saying that there was an intelligence report. Russian attack goes to. They suspected others.
To what effect though? To what effect? Like what?
In support of Trump.
So they added votes?
Yeah, that's apparently what they say. But they don't have the evidence. They don't.
Okay.
No, it's apparently they explain all of this in the video. The intelligence report is to say they have the information, but they can't tell you where they're getting this information.
Sure.
Which they need to do for the evidence.
But I'm saying, but just what was the outcome though? That they added votes?
Yes.
All right. Well, God, sure.
But I will give you before this came out, which came out in May 19. We were still saying
that was still a while ago.
I mean, it was a while ago. But
I
he
haven't
had presidents.
I haven't heard
2016.
it came out then. Well, okay, that's something. But I feel like the bigger point is
Before this,
we were
still
just
saying.
we were mentally hacked, or like our nature was exposed that we like to fuck with shit that we don't fuck with, or that's what was allowed us. And all those things were just exposed and used against us. So we gotta look to improve ourselves in that. Like we shouldn't be susceptible to those kind of things.
Yeah.
The technical aspect of it, obviously, needs the whole system needs to be upgraded. I'm sure actually, John Oliver did a whole thing on voting systems.
Because I don't remember all the details of the video, let's go back. Because I said they added votes, but really all I know is that they hacked it in support of Trump. I assume, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As I thought about that,
To add votes or to delete votes in the other way, like, either one of those would be like the same if one of those things happened, But all the social media influencing, like, that was more just us being exposed, and we gotta really fix the way we take in content and just treat each other, like just what we. I don't know. It's somewhere between we need a more open discussion and then a lot of self-reflection by everybody. But yeah, I don't know I just know we got to take more responsibility for everything instead of writing it off completely to interference. So that's a dangerous thing, you know, just in general, because like that takes out the integrity of the system, where it's like, well, why should I vote if this is gonna happen? So that's becomes apathetic towards the whole process. And then we need to fix these things if we're gonna fucking win, like as a country, like because these problems we've been really dealing with these for a long time now, and we have way bigger things we need to tackle, and we're just gonna get caught up in this bullshit like over and over again. We're gonna lose because I think it was Chappelle put it best, like, you know how I know China's gonna beat the U.S.? Like, because everybody in China is Chinese, and everybody in America is racist. like if we can't get past, because that should be our biggest asset, or strength. It's what makes us so much better. It's what should make us better than so many other countries. The fact that we have so many ethnicities and backgrounds and experiences to pull from, should be able to melt that into something awesome. But then people do that, and people start doing that cultural appropriation, and then that really happens, and then it doesn't happen, and people still get blamed for it, and we gotta really.
I always felt like the problem started with name.
Well, I think a big part of it was, that's why I think we're steering in the right direction. I feel like independency and ownership will lax a lot of these things, because people will be less dependent on old frameworks. So it's like, now there's always the man putting you down. What if you didn't have to deal with the man? You know what I mean? Like, or what if the man was just way less, there's always Uncle Sam, but the man is the guy you gotta report to and shit. What if you reported to you and you like doing what you're doing? Like, that's a whole different space. And that should be way less rare than it is. Most people don't get to do what they enjoy doing. That's why I really liked when you said like your mom was making the tables. It was like, she's at least doing what she likes doing. Like, even if you can only get it out as a hobby, but it's like, what if you could turn that
into your job?
Yeah, like, what if you paid rent off of that? Like, what if this like fed you? You get to wake up, smile on your face, do something you enjoy doing, and then people appreciate it and pay you for it. That's the dream, right?
Yeah, no, that's for sure. And I mean, going off of that for a second, I think that anytime you can follow your passion, even for a little bit, regardless of what it is, that's like, it puts life back in you, while everything else is kind of killing you.
Yeah, it's real. Because, I mean, even if that's what I love, like, because that's even beyond, like the monetary aspect doesn't matter. And that's why it comes in its pure form. It's like, it's just something I want to do.
Yeah.
But it's just, so that's where it needs to start, from that place. Would you do this?
I also think it takes mental discipline so that you can allow that to stay your passion and not just become a job. Because that's also a dark end that a lot of people have gotten to. Or change your passion.
But just, that's what I'm saying, you have to really like it. And then,
I mean, a lot of people really like what they do, but...
No, they don't. Most people don't like what they do.
Or a lot of people liked what they did before they started doing it at such a level. I think I've seen interviews with rappers where they'll say, like, some of their favorite times rapping was when they did it for fun. Like, they weren't doing it for the money, because all of the extra stuff comes with it. Or
because it becomes a job. Like, you have to do others. You gotta go talk to people. You gotta do interviews. You gotta go sit in meetings now. There's a budget to deal with. It becomes a business, and you have to run a business like a business. So there's always I'm not saying this alleviates stress. Like,
No,
stress comes with doing hard work, but like,
I'm saying that reduces your stress in the long run. If you're conscious of the fact that this is what's going on over time, you can milk that enjoyment.
yeah, or you just gotta keep perspective. Like, 'cause everything's work, but like, if you're going from McDonald's to being, like a rapper, it's like, well, yeah, this is all more work, but you're getting paid more, and do you want to go back and make fries? Like, what's work? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's real?
No, I wasn't saying that to dispute your point. I was saying that to add and that's why I said to go off of that for a second.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you 100%. I've just heard that come up, and that was a weird thing when you see someone that looks like they have everything and they're explaining to you, like, I don't even have any fun with this anymore. I used to.
Yeah, but that's like, that's kind of. I don't even worry about that because it doesn't. It matters, but like a bigger part of it is that people don't even get the opportunity to feel that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's bigger to me. Like getting to a certain point and not really finding happiness out of it, that's a whole different thing. But let's at least work up to that. Let's at least find a place of happiness and prosperity off of that to begin with.
I thought of it as something
And then we just let you go.
I thought of it as something that should just be mentioned.
No, but I mean, yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
I only say that because like people will now take that to not do any of it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it's a bit like why prepare for a speed bump that's like 10 miles away? You know what I'm saying? Like really, like that's not a reason not to do anything. So to even think about it is a waste in my mind. Like that's just imagine where you're starting from.
Yeah, and it matters on who you are. Because if you're the person that would allow that to happen, then you shouldn't be told that. What you should be told is all based upon who you are.
Yeah, I don't
because
think
it's not a one side.
I just in general don't believe in worrying about something until you have to worry about it. Like you can prepare for stuff and make sure things are in a position not to happen, but like don't make up problems before you've even. You know what I'm saying? You got my road. Don't make up champagne rules to stop you from starting.
No, I didn't think of it as something that would stop someone from doing something.
No, but because between that kind of thought of, oh, maybe even if I got rich, I wouldn't be happy. Well, try it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or when people say, like, you tell someone who's like, oh, yeah, you could do this and this, and like, man, that's easier said than done. Of course, everything's easier said than done, you jackass. Like, but that's the same kind of, you just put up a roadblock before it happens, before you even start. So, like, there's no, that's why, that just doesn't matter. Like, once if you find yourself leaning towards that business, then address it and readjust. But don't start worrying about the trappings of success. Not successful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Worry about being success.
Yeah, and it doesn't. And that was like my thing. It's not. You don't have to be successful. You don't have to not be successful. It's just something.
Or towards happiness, not just.
Yeah, no, that's my thing. It's the success has to get cut out. It's about the happiness.
But I guess that is success.
That's first and foremost.
Like,
no, but you mentioned success in reference to money.
Now, not when I was saying that, I just meant content.
Oh, okay.
Or it doesn't I'm just saying, this is all about happiness in the beginning. When I started with the table thing, that's the beauty of where creation starts.
Yeah.
It's like it's something you would do for free, you were doing for free, and then you can then change that into something that people will then pay you for. And once you make that jump, then there could be stress of just keeping that running if you start to depend on it, or if you want to depend on it, make that like the main thing. But just because in 10 years you may not want to do it anymore, or like it could be overwhelming, doesn't mean you shouldn't start it for a year, I guess. Like that's
No.
yeah. I don't know. Every time I hear like a roadblock being put up for no reason, I just want to blow it up because it's just because there's just a million reasons not to do something, or a million reasons that will pause you, like to not do something or to not go after something, and it doesn't take a lot, like at all, like because doing nothing is so easy. You know what I mean? Like you can fuck around and do nothing and look up hours going to shit. Yeah. So it's so easy to get caught up in why something won't work instead of attacking something until it works. And any mental gymnastics out here that would straighten that way. That's I just hit it with a machete because like it's so
I
easy.
thought of that in similar fashion to in that same Drake interview he was talking about when someone first gets real hot and how you have to hold on to that time because it passes. And that's kind of what I was thinking about it as, because all passions have a hot point and then a normal point.
Yeah, but that's
And I was saying that just to say, enjoy the high times, because and try to maintain them, because you don't know. Like, I guess that's a better thing to say than
yeah. I mean,
well, how did I first phrase that?
but like just like you may like live in the moment, appreciate when things are right. Like just take it in for what it is. Because I mean, if you're moving fast, like stuff can just pass you by, like where you're doing like big things or like huge accomplishments, and you don't even have the time or the wherewithal to take it in, and then you end up looking back like, oh, I did do some tight shit, and then never really.
Penthouse, but nothing is sweet.
Yeah, well, sure, okay, doing this. But so yeah, there's some to that, but like that's again, that's starting from Drake. Like I'm talking to the 99%. Because that's that's what, yeah.
That's advice for somebody that's already large, basically.
That's advice, yeah. Like I mean, that's advice for a lot of people, for sure. But like these aren't people without common sense. Like these aren't. That's like I'm keeping it concise to the. These aren't rally people. These aren't people that, what I'm saying? These are people, like, you're not angry.
For them, you need to keep them encouraged.
Yeah. Like, you need to step on their ambition. Yeah. You gotta really hit it with all the sauce of fucking go do that shit. Like, if it's different later, change, because you have that freedom, or you buy yourself that freedom.
Yeah.
If you've done another thing right. Because, like, again, keeping the like, Drake, if Drake tomorrow woke up and was like, God, hip hop sucks and I don't like singing, I want to go do a sitcom or nothing. I bought this house and I'm going to fucking chill. You're not going to see me, 6 guys tucking me in. He has that priority because he's giving himself that freedom. Like that's just by his accomplishments before that. He's abided that. Like so, you've put yourself in the position. Apply it to position. You can change. You have the freedom to do whatever you want. You have the, eventually you have to do something just for your own wherewithal. So I feel like once you do nothing, or have no purpose, and you kind of start to die. I'm saying, if he decided he didn't want to do that and he wanted to go paint, and hopefully people want to buy my painting, but they don't, whatever. He has everything in position to do what he wants to do, and everyone can put themselves in that position. Can you remember the numbers that high? No, but you can give yourself more flexibility where you're not dependent on job and pay. You know what I'm saying? people wrap themselves in those positions where it's like, you know, the next 24 hours aren't going to be great, and then you're going to go to sleep, and then it's going to run itself back, but you can't get out of this because rent's due on the 1st, power's due on the 5th, and so you're trapped. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we're in a time where there's the opportunity to break that cycle for anybody that has something to offer. And that something can come in forms that I'm sure we haven't seen all of them yet. You're only limited by your own creativity, ambition, and effort. Like, there's really no. If you want to be a TV star, you can start a show right now. Write it, shoot it. We all have a phone in our pocket, and it's all HD. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason, you know, your dog can be famous. I want to make my puppy famous. You can make it famous, not like you can just do that. You don't have to go up to LA and wait for puppy chow commercials. You can have there's dogs with hundreds of thousands of followers. And, you know what I'm saying? It's just because, whatever. You can just do anything. You can draw. You can draw on camera and make it colorful. If someone fucks with it, they fuck with it. You can play music and get your music heard by the entire world with never having an agent, never talking to a label, that's real life. So why not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you're trying to come up with an excuse of why not, stop it. Like, let's stop. Just stop it. Like, just don't do that. Just do the thing, and don't be afraid to fail, because whatever. If you succeed, awesome. Like, you know what I'm saying? But and you fail, stop and do something else, or do it again. Like, if you really like doing it. You know what I mean? Like, just you have all those options.
Yeah.
So it should be.
And everything's gotten so much easier.
Yeah, and between that and the lower class employers telling you that they don't want to employ you anymore, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to make it for yourself. And I feel like once more people are given the freedom to provide on their own accord, not really being dependent on so many other single individuals or companies, and really just depending on the people or the community that they built around them, I think it'd be happier. Because the world's getting smaller, even through podcasting. Like, I love it. The interview I was talking about earlier with Andrew and Trevor, I was super excited to see that interview because those were worlds colliding again. That was like Charlemagne meets Joe Rogan, because, like, I talked about, like, Kevin Sage and Joe Boy earlier in the ADD. Trevor was part of the ADD, so I know him from then, and now he's with Andrew, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, it's all getting smaller. All the powers are connecting that need to be connecting, and everyone's fucking each other, like, super communal. Like, everyone has their own thing, but everyone supports everyone's thing. So it's a community that props up itself. And that can be so many people, and you can have so many different communities. And those communities can cross over. Like, the world's becoming a giant MCU. You know what I'm saying? And everyone gets their own shit, but, like, you keep crossing over, you do it to infinity. And now you have your own platform, and now you can go on your friend's platform, talk to these people, you go on there, and that perpetuates forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just people getting their own opportunities. Like, people fucking with people for completely different reasons. I only follow, like, some people on TikTok, but they all do completely different things. One person plays basketball. There's a Japanese guy that dances trap music. There's girl that draws pictures on an iPad. There's a guy that does custom shoes. The only thing these guys have in common is me watching them. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's how it started. Like, that's what I felt about all these things until I saw, oh no, they fuck with each other. You see, like, Rory from
Joe Rogan
from Joe Budden podcast.
I said Joe Rogan.
Rory from Joe Budden, like he does Do Say Palooza, which is another thing that's watched grow. It started at the house party, sold out fucking the Barclays Center. So he does Do Say Palooza, and one of the guys on like too, that's second on, he's also Rory's partner with Do Say Palooza. Like, it's all so interconnected, it's all so tight.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, Charlamagne's tight with Donnell Williams. Donnell Williams is tight with Chappelle. Like, how close, the degrees of separation are so close. Lil Duval was on Joe Rogan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that was interesting.
We're shrinking so, like, Martha Scott and Snoop Dogg, when they were started tight, it was like, all right, this is really, you know what I'm saying? That was kind of the beginning of like worlds just smashing into each other. You know, going all the way back to fucking, I don't know, going back too far, but like now it's starting speeding up and it's in this whole different dynamic. Patrick, who's from the AED stuff, he was on T.I.'s Expeditiously. Expeditiously is getting shot out on CNN, SNL. You know, it's all getting so small. Like, but these are all independent factors rubbing each other.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, these are individuals, but now it's like CBS that now is tight with NBC, it's tight with Fox. Like, that's where that's going. You know what I'm saying? Because the old guard is splintered completely. They don't fuck each other at all. They still snipe each other and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? You drop that show, fuck it. We'll redo it or we'll bring it back. Fuck you. Like, and that's with that attitude though. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, yeah, be tight. Let's let some of your characters come on our shows. Fuck no. That's not a thing.
Never.
No, never ever. It's gang over here. But now, so the gangs are still beefing and they're splintered and they're losing their grasp of the media chokehold. And you have all these independent hubs and people, and studios that are rising, taking a hold of the chokehold, but then they're all getting tight together.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. So like I think that opportunity, the more people have that opportunity and the more people are able to provide around what makes them happy and people, you know, fucking with that and supporting them and all that stuff, I think that'll bring up a lot more happiness in general. Just because people will just feel like they have more control. I think I believe that's possible. I believe it could be going that way. I mean, we're there, but like, it hasn't hit where it's going. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna stick into a like in between point for a long time. I feel like we're almost at that in between point now, actually. But
I feel like that's again because I don't know where. Because say that you have to know where it's going. Like where's the?
Well, I guess we established that as when the community is keeping itself afloat.
Well, or all the communities are keeping all the communities.
And they're interconnected.
Because I mean, like that's that's kind of what service is. But like, yeah, when it's more direct. Yeah.
Because like over social media, like it's already a thing. You talking about the podcast, streaming service.
Because I feel like it's gonna get to the point where it's like, I mean, we're already there, but like it'd be like more widespread, where it's just like, all right, you know, you might still wear like Nike shoes and whatever, but like your t-shirts will be made, or like your friends' brands. They're not just, you know, a polo, whatever. Like that becomes less important because you want to support someone that you fuck with more directly, and even express that in your day-to-day through your wardrobe. Like people put wild shows. They're fucking Rick and Morty tripping acid on my hoodie right now.
Yeah, I want to shout my boy out. This is his shirt.
No.
Shameless plug.
Don't even name it.com.
Yeah.
For sure.
You need a sweater. You need it.
But you know, it's just that kind of thing where it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's we're moving that way, or I hope so. I feel like that'll help a lot, because a lot of people will be less susceptible to like. It's just more control. We're starting to talk in circles, so we're gonna have to move on. But yeah, it's just about having more control, like knowing that there's no one that can just fire you at any time for whatever. It's like, you know, that's real life. Or it's like, oh, they're just shutting down the whole branch, so now you got to figure out life, and you had nothing to do with that. It's like that kind of lack of control, I think, breeds a lot of bad energy that gets passed around. So people, whatever, control.
Yeah, no, I would even say that before we were talking about the people that they are resentful because they're not learning from their mistakes or not even knowing they had them. But that plays into that a bit.
Mm-hmm. It's all, none of it's disconnected. None of it's exclusionary. It's all working together to make the perfect batch of or awesome, man. It's really, they all stir around each other. It's all the same ingredients.
Yeah, I think this is a good place right here.
Yeah, I feel like we got it out.
Yeah. And I want to say, y'all, don't let anybody hold you back or let anything, but let us be the wind under your wings, because you can do anything.
Yeah. I echo that shit. So on that note, this is episode number 9 JTO. I hope you enjoyed yourself and made it this far. Thank you so much. This is the last of the year, last of the decade. So everyone have a safe new year. Pop some bottles. Don't die in the street. You know.
What is dead may never die. We're coming to the 20s now. This is time to get crazy.
All that bullshit ass quote, right? Trying to get another happy note. Bye. Fuck shit.